Hi, welcome back to Dawn Chorus Writes, a Miraculous fanfiction. I am Dawn, and this is the series Meeting Under the Stars, Chapter 9. And I've kind of given it a little subheading, Princess Ladybug and Her Two Princes. So make sure you smash that like button, please. Subscribe, because if you're at Chapter 9 already, what are you waiting for? And make sure you share and notify and all that goodness. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this one. It's very fluffy. And make sure you comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Okay, enjoy. Chapter 9, Marinette's POV. Princess Ladybug and Her Two Princes. She hadn't got to bed until late, finishing the dress with a few scattered cherry blossoms embroidered on it, so that it had a cheeky hint of a ladybug. Otherwise, how would she be Princess Ladybug? She gave the mask a final coating layer to seal in the details and left it out to dry. So being woken early by a Kumo battle wasn't what she needed. Thankfully, it was an easy one. Since the battle with Storm, she was grateful to find a regular Kumatized victim who made everyone stand still, which had ended up being a mom who just needed a moment of peace. The only issue Marinette had was confusion at Hawkmoth's plan, and why jump from one extreme to the other? If only she knew what the rules of the game were. Okay, that wasn't the only issue. Seeing Chat for the first time since that night was strange, but that kiss had happened with Marinette, not Ladybug, and she needed to act that way. Stealing glances at him when he was studying the scene before him was distracting, to say the least. When the battle was over, she was sure he could barely look at her, doing the usual pound it gesture and then shooting off instead of catching up like they normally did. Perhaps he didn't feel comfortable around Ladybug now that he had expressed feelings for Marinette. She just wished he would pop round and talk so that they could straighten it all out. If he did date Marinette, would it be better or worse, his relationship with Ladybug, than it is now? She'd been thinking over the past couple of days. One of the biggest hurdles against them being together was when the day came to find out who Ladybug was. Whether it was 1 month, today, or 10 years' time, one day it will happen, and how will he react? Would he blame her for keeping it from him? Would he be happy that all this time it had been Marinette fighting alongside him? Would he still love her? For now, she put that out of her head. She had a few hours to get ready and become princess at 20 for one night. The idea made her laugh and fearful all at once. As part of the deal, she had agreed with Adrien for him to pick her up and take her to the party, since he was the one insisting, and to be honest, she didn't like the idea of walking the subway as princess and trying to find the party. It was being held in an abandoned manor near the campus, but that's all they said. She braided part of her hair back, leaving the rest to tousle over her shoulder. She kept with the smoky eye idea, causing her already large blue eyes to widen and pop. She stepped into the dress, feeling the fabric engulf her tight against her chest and float out from her hips as they were feather-like petals attached to her. This dress had worked. It made her feel like a princess, apart from one thing. She couldn't zip up the back to the top. She stretched her arms around, struggling to get to the last part. "Wow," came a voice behind her. A sudden rush covered her body, creating a shiver to run through her spine and goosebumps to form on her skin. Dare she turn round? "Wait, I'll help. May I?" he breathed, standing behind her. "Breathe. Breathe, Marinette, just breathe," she kept telling herself as his leather hand brushed against her back. "Thank you, Chat." Her voice struggled out of her mouth. Why was he having this effect on her? Standing behind her, his breath on her neck, and being so close. Once he had finished zipping up the last bit, he stroked his hand over her shoulders and upper arms. "You really are a princess." She turned round and saw the awestruck expression as he stared into her eyes. In one move, she could kiss him. She could wrap her arms around him and feel herself fall into his arms. But instead, he took a step back and sighed. The moment had passed. "What brings you here, Kitty?" She tried to sound light and joyous, but in reality, she was confused. "Well," he took a gulp, casting his gaze down and then to fix points in the room anywhere but her. "I had a fight today and I didn't know if you expected me. But I can't stay." "You have somewhere better to be?" She had tried to sound jokey, but it didn't have that effect. No, it looks like you do though." He gestured towards the dress. "One of your own creations, I presume?" "Of course." "Do you like it?" "I don't look silly in it. I mean, a 20-year-old dressing up as a princess for Halloween." She hadn't meant to show the fear and the foolishness being bottled up. Chat took a step closer, holding her gaze and reaching his hand up to cup her face. "You are stunning. You take my breath away." She could tell he wanted to kiss her as much as she wanted to kiss him. If he asked her to stay tonight and curl up with him, she would have. Forget the rest and simply be with him. Letting out a long breath as if he had forgotten to breathe, his hand dropped from her face. "You had better go, princess. The magic might run out at midnight." He stepped back and jumped to the window. "Chat! We need to talk." "We will. I'll see you soon, princess." With that, he was gone. What had just happened? Why was her partner, her kitty, having this effect on her? But the biggest question she had was, why didn't he want to kiss her again? Her phone buzzed on her desk. It was from Adrien waiting outside for her. Taking a deep breath, composing her nerves and the sudden rush to her body, she added the little purse flower to a dress for Tiki. "Tiki, hide in here." She had disappeared at the sight of Chat entering the room and reappearing once he'd gone. "We had better go. Can't leave Adrien waiting." Her little friend understood the confusion and angst in Marinette's voice. "Marinette, you look beautiful. I'm sure it'll work out with Chat. You just have fun tonight, okay?" "Thank you, Tiki. I'm so grateful for you and our friendship." Tiki flew up and gave her a little quick hug on her cheek before flying down to the secret pouch, giggling at the fabric tickling her. Marinette placed on the alternative mask and became Princess Ladybug. Not Marinette, who she feared was falling in love with Chat. Not Ladybug, who had to deal with the evil in Paris and the pressure of trying to figure it out and protect her city. No, she was Princess Ladybug, who, for one night, had the magic to forget her troubles and simply have some fun in a floaty pink dress. Marinette carefully climbed down the stairs, bidding goodnight to her parents, who were gushing all over her creation and demanded a picture or two. She opened the door to see Adrien leaning against a silver 1950s convertible, looking rather handsome. "Marinette, you look amazing. Stunning. I'm struggling for words." Even in the darkness of the night sky, she could tell he was blushing. "Why, thank you, my good sir." She dropped into a curtsy, as if meeting her prince at the ball. "You are looking rather handsome yourself. Who's the character?" She gestured to his outfit that resembled something described from a Jane Austen novel or a romantic period drama film that she secretly enjoyed. With his tight waistcoat that showed off the hours of training they had been doing, in contrast to the looser trousers and long overcoat, whilst his hair was perfect to the point she wanted to run her fingers through it. Get it together, Marinette. A moment ago you wanted to kiss Chat, and now you want to run your fingers through Adrien's hair and... No, that was wrong, wasn't it? Wanting two men at once? Adrien rubbed the back of his neck at her compliment. I'm Count Monte Cristo, taking a bow in front of her and letting out a nervous laugh. That's one of your favourite books, isn't it? She walked closer to him, smiling, noticing the shocked expression on his face. What? You remember? That was a while ago I told you that. His face softened, tilting to the side, trying to read her. Of course I remember. I was in love with you and was obsessed about any nugget of information you would tell me, she thought, chuckling at the idea of what he would say if he knew. Instead, she simply replied, Why wouldn't I? Making him blush further. What is up with Adrien tonight? He opened the car door like a gentleman and paused, standing in front of her, close. You look breathtaking. A princess. His hand hovered in front of her, hesitating near her face before he moved it to the small of her back. Shall we? Why, thank you. She climbed in, pushing down her skirt. What is with this car? Is this yours? This isn't yours, is it? Adrien let out a chuckle. No, I wish. I hired it for the night. A bird told me you might be dressed like Grace Kelly, so I thought... Grace Kelly? She turned out to be a real princess in the end. But this is really thoughtful. Thank you, Adrien. A hand rested on his, noticing how clammy it was and how nervous he seemed. There was something different with him tonight. She couldn't put her fingers on it. She caught his piercing gaze under the street lamp, and her heart started to race inside her chest, a feeling she hadn't allowed since declaring that they were only friends. And yet, the way he stared at her reminded her of Chat, and the yearning string between them, pulling her in. She moved her head to the side and kissed him on the cheek. It was longer than a peck, lingering slightly. If he wanted to, he could simply turn his head and kiss her. Thank you, she breathed into his ear. What was this confidence boost she was feeling? The power of a mask. Instead, Adrien turned back round, a deep red blush to his cheeks, and cleared his throat. We had better go. Thank you for listening to Chapter 9. Princess Ladybug and her two princes. Comment down below at the amount of fluff, and make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for the next one, which will be the Halloween party, Chapter 10. So look out for that one coming soon. Thank you. Bye.